Well, hello again and welcome to Elroy Life. My name is Paul Stamp. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the importance of positive influence in single parenting and also celebrating inspirational role models. And today I have with me Dr.
Deborah Purge.
Could you kindly just introduce yourself and just say something about yourself?
Oh, I would love to.
So as you join us, if you're a parent seeking inspiration or someone passionate about supporting single parents, this video is a must watch. Prepare to be moved, to be motivated, enlightened as we celebrate the unwavering spirit of single parenting triumph. Please, as usual, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's plunge into this right now.
I am a family therapist and I currently manage a mental health program for the Dallas Independent School District. I'm really proud of the fact that we are the largest comprehensive school-based mental health program in the country. And so, yeah, that's about me.
Wonderful, wonderful. And of course, I know that you have attained so much academically and could you just tell the viewers exactly your academic achievement, just a little bit, because you have so much. Go right ahead.
Okay, so I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have a master's in education with an emphasis on special ed, early childhood. And then I have a PhD in marriage and family therapy.
Wonderful. And of course, how long you have been with the school district? You have worked with so many children.
I have. I have been employed with Dallas Independent School District since 2013. So about 11 years now.
That's quite a bit. Okay, yeah. That's a long time. And working as the head of your department right now, because
the head of my center.
Yes. So about what's the percentage of single parents?
Well, let me put it this way. Because I usually if I give numbers, you want to make sure you give the right number. Mm-hmm. So let me just say, one of the goals for Dallas ISD is we wanted to make sure that we provide equitable service mm-hmm. and affordable, available mental health services for the students that we serve. Mm-hmm. The population of students in Dallas ISD is probably about over 75% are Black and brown students with not easy access to good mental health services. So. Okay. And some of those are single parents. In mm-hmm. terms of what the exact numbers are, I would be remiss if I would provide that at this time.
Okay, yeah. Great. And of course, the topic is about positive influence. And I know that you yourself is a very positive influencer. And based on your experience at your job, what are some of the influencers that you work with? For example, individuals and other organizations. Okay.
So one of the things that I always, when I speak to parents and I do parenting, I often tell them that I am so glad that I don't look like what I've been through. So for me, if we pull a step back a little bit, going through my PhD program, when I first started, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so not only was I parenting alone, I worked 40 hours, went to school, and had 2 young children. So God has been so good to me. Wonderful. And the reason that I did that was to ensure that my children did not become the statistics that society says that all, single parent children are single parent. Some of them, stats, it's not always a good outcome.
Right.
And so for me, every A that I received while I was in my PhD program was a sign for me that the things that were happening in my life and cancer did not define who I was. And I operate on purpose. So Wonderful. Everything that I do is purposed. Mm-hmm. And so my test has become my testimony. God has.
So tell us then, I love your story because you have worked so hard. You had 2 children. You were a single parent. You were diagnosed with cancer.
Twice.
You must have had some kind of a support system that instilled within you positive influence that you're able to complete your degree.
I did. And so when I lived here in Texas, when as a single parent, I had no family here. So my church, and this lady unfortunately passed away, she said that she had 2 children and I was the third that God gave to her.
Oh,
her name was
wonderful.
Rose. And I'm telling you, she was that angel in my pocket that that encouraged me, that when times were down, I was able to pick up the phone. I also found a couple of families that were from Jamaica, and they became my family. So every holiday, I knew where my kids and I were going. We were going to one home or the other, and they become my family. So for me, my kingship family. So a kingship family are the ones that are called to be your family, but not related by blood.
And you mentioned Jamaica, so you are
I am
an
Jamaican.
immigrant. You are Jamaican, of course.
Yes.
So that's a great story.
The ethics that I have come from what was instilled with us in Jamaica is that you work hard for everything that you have. I've not have anything just handed to me. I've always had to work hard, but God has been good.
That's wonderful. That's great. So you mentioned church. You also mentioned this lady who very, very influential in your life.
Yes.
So tell us about the support system that's necessary within single parenting and blended families.
So for me, one of the things, because I knew the struggle as a single parent who is working hard to make it, parenting is very difficult in of itself, but parenting alone is even harder. So I had to have people set up where someone was going to pick my daughter up if I couldn't pick her up, or maybe drop her off at Girl Scout and I'd meet her there, or I would be speeding down the freeway trying to make it to my son's game, but we had someone who would drop him up. So I had to barter with people. It's like, okay, I do this, you do this. And I had neighbors that would meet my children off the bus until I got home. Did homework with them. There was a sweet little old lady at church called Sister Driver. She was the play mama. So it's important in the absence of family to have a system set up.
Right.
Because I always wanted to know where my children were going to be and how was I going to get them, because I had to work. I had no choice. I had to work, or if I had to go to school. There are times when I had to go to school and school would start about 4:00. So I would go to work all day, drove to Denton, went to class, got home at 10 o'clock. But by the time I got home, Sister Driver had my children fed, homework was done. All I had to do was pick them up, bathe them, and put them to bed.
Wonderful.
So I find that because of the support system that I had, it allowed me to become the best that I could be for my children and set an example for my children.
So it's very, very important.
Yeah.
And once you have a system that you have designed and created, work with that system.
Yeah. When I look at a crisis, for example, and I talk to family, you experience a crisis based on the resources you have and the network that you have, right? So if your resources is low and your network is low, the crisis is huge. If you're experiencing a difficult moment, but you are surrounded by your support system, and even there are times when you don't have the resource and someone is there, is like, hey, I can help you. That is so huge. I always had mustard-sized seed faith, but there are times when that wavered. But God made it possible. Like I needed to pay my mortgage, and the bank made a mistake. Go figure. And the amount of money that I needed showed up at my house. But God, or the lady I told you about, Rose, she was going to give me a birthday present. It was just enough what I needed to repair my car, and so just wonderful when you hold on to that faith, because sometimes you can always see the rainbow at the end. But my faith kept me going.
I love that. You've mentioned faith and God. So that played a very, very important role for you. Okay.
And I also, I know you asked me about agency, so I volunteer. So one of the things that once I got where I wanted to go in life, professionally, financially, and personally, so I give back. I look at how can I give back? Because sometimes when you're going through, it's good to give back, because that fills your heart with that. I call it a psychic income. So it's that sense of feeling good, and when you're worrying about other people, it kind of distracts you from what you're going through. And so I volunteer with the Single Parent Advocate. I'm also a proud member of the Sigma Gamma Rho, where service is what we do. So we do a lot of community service in areas where there's lots of single parents and a lot of families that are low socioeconomic status. And so that's what I do to pay it forward.
So, of course, you are now PhD Dr. Deborah Purge, and now you are saying that after you have achieved, you need also to be able to give back to the community.
I do. I think it's so important. It's all part of my purpose. I feel that, and my staff laugh at me all the time because I always said that my life was not a mistake. It was designed by God. Because parts of my name, even my last name, which is Purge, it talks about what I do when I do counseling. People come and they purge their soul. Deborah is a prophetess.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there was a calling on my life from before I was born. And so then you walk according to that purpose. So that's how I live my life.
So, and I like to pick up on very, very powerful, important words, because the next word that you use is purpose.
Yes.
So
everything about me is purpose.
It's about purpose, of course. And as we talk about celebrating inspirational role models, undoubtedly you have been a tremendous role model within your school district, because you have worked with, I would imagine, hundreds, thousands of children since you started working.
Yeah. Also, I think one of the things for me is I don't get the information and keep it. So my thing is, we all want to be connected. Everyone wants to be. God designed us to be connected, and unfortunately, there's so many families that are disconnected. And so one of my thing is, as we talk to families, talk about, you look about how were you raised, right? And how that plays out, the trauma and childhood trauma that you might have gone, and even how it impacts you as an adult. And I realized that as an adult, I had to learn to parent differently than I was parented, right? Because you know how parents are in Jamaica, they're very strict, they're very firm, there's no flexibility, it's their way or the highway.
Yes.
So then I had to figure out, how do I navigate that with my children?
Right.
And so as a single parent, I didn't do it. And just as a parent in general, you don't do everything right.
Right.
I didn't do everything right. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm sure if you talk to my kids, they'll tell you that. So
I would imagine so.
but there's opportunity for correction. But you have to be connected to your children. You have to empower them. You have to speak over them as if it was. And then you can correct them in love, right?
Wonderful.
And as I have a Gen Z, which is my youngest child, and I've had to learn how to parent her, how to navigate her, and now she's 23 and doesn't need me as more, whereas my 20-year-old still needs mama somewhat.
Yes.
And so my role as a parent never ends.
Yes.
And so I now want to serve as role model for them and for the population of people that we serve and that we will touch in service.
Wonderful. Well, I'm really impressed with your achievement, of course, and so, one of the things that I do value is education. So that's a tremendous blessing for you. And what you have shared, I hope it will be inspirational for somebody who's watching, for a single parent.
Don't give up. You can do it.
That's
Don't
right.
Give up.
So before we wrap up here, Dr. Purge, what advice would you give to single parents right now? And of course, not only parents, but the children of single parents.
I think that you should make your goal and go for it. I think when I was going through my process, a lot of people told me that I was an overachiever, but I had a goal in mind. I had what I wanted to do for myself and for my kids to improve my life. And so no matter what anyone said about me and me being an overachiever or whatever it is, I kept on going because I had to believe that there was better at the end.
Wonderful.
And that if I faith without work is dead. So I had to put in the work to utilize the gift that God has given me. So for me, I would say hang in there. There's going to be times when you're not going to understand why God has brought you through this road, but it's always to take you to the next level. It's always to prepare you and harden you. And I always say a diamond doesn't become a diamond without going through a purification,
Right.
or a tree doesn't become beautiful without pruning.
Right. Right.
So just hang in there and keep going and believe in yourself. You got this. And that's what I had to tell myself.
Wonderful. And one of the things that I'm gonna, tell about her, she's also very, very fluent in Spanish, because she works with Hispanic children, and of course the children that speak primarily English too. So that's another plus for you, right? How did you learn Spanish? Because you're so fluent, you know.
So I also studied in Spain.
Okay.
So when I was in college, that's one of the things that I wanted to do, and it kind of added to my purpose, because here in Texas and in the school that I work in, the majority of the population of students there are Spanish speaking, and so I was always too nosy and too curious to be able to stop at prevention. So with being bilingual, I'm able to help my staff and myself and the clients that we serve to provide them with the necessary service. So there is not, it doesn't create another barrier to service because I can speak Spanish.
Wonderful. Well, Dr. Purge, I want to thank you so much for giving us the time just to share your experience and to be able to impact someone's life, somebody who's watching right now. And as you have been successful in life, and sharing your experience, others too can listen to this, listen to the method that you've used in becoming successful, and also to be a great, great parent. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching this video. If you found it inspiring, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.